Students, today let us start with a new lesson and understand why do we need a parliament. Under colonial rule, Indian people had lived in fear of the British government. Indians did not agree with many of the decisions that they took. With high pressure of Indian National Congress, British government allowed to discuss the budget and ask questions. The Government of India Act 1909 allowed for indirect election to the Legislative Assembly, but national leaders were not satisfied with this. At last, India became independent on 15th August 1947 through a process of long and difficult struggle in which many sections of the society participated. Being a British colony, India was influenced by the British parliamentary system to give equal representation to all and to reduce the chances of dictatorship. This was the major reason for opting parliamentary system of government in India. Forming or talking about parliament, the representatives are chosen from the people. The decision of the people creates a democratic government and decides about its functioning. The parliament is made up of all representatives together. They control and guide the government. Our country is divided into 543 constituencies at present. Each constituency elects one person to the parliament. The elected member becomes member of the parliament. All the members together make up the parliament. Now let's talk about the functions of the parliament. They select the national government. Then they control, guide and inform the government. And finally, they are the tools for making law. When talking about selecting the national government, it is chosen by the members of Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, and head of both the houses is the president. Let's discuss about Lok Sabha first. Lok Sabha can have a maximum of 530 are to be elected from the states, 20 from territories, and 2 are nominated by the president from the Anglo-Indian community. Lok Sabha's tenure is only for 5 years, after which it dissolves. But in case of any emergency, this period may be extended by the parliament. Now, what are the eligibility criteria for Lok Sabha elections? First, the candidate should be a citizen of India. The candidate should have at least 25 years of age. The candidate should not hold an office of profit under the Indian government or the government of any other state. The candidate should not be an unstable mind. The candidate should not disobey party discipline. Now let's talk about Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha can have the maximum strength of 250 members, out of which 238 are to be the representatives of the states. Remaining 12 are to be nominated by the president. Now let's discuss about the eligibility criteria for Rajya Sabha elections. He must be a citizen of India. He must be above the age of 30 years. He must possess all other qualifications as laid down by the parliament. He must not hold any office of profit under government. He should not be an insane or a bankrupt. He should not have been disqualified under any law of the parliament. The Rajya Sabha is a quasi-permanent house. It is not subject to dissolution as a whole. 1/3 of its members retire every 2 years and elections are held only for the vacant seats. The tenure of each member of Rajya Sabha is 6 years. Now let's talk about the second function of the parliament, which is to control, guide and inform. The parliament, while in session, begins with question hour. Through question hour, MPs can bring out information about the working of the government. The opposition party highlights drawbacks in various policies and programs of the government. This is essential for healthy functioning of the present government. And last is the law-making process. The law-making process is a lengthy one The first stage is the introductory stage when any bill is introduced. Then is the discussion stage where all the members of the parliament sit and discuss together all the pros and cons of the bill. Then comes the voting stage when one has to cast vote in favor or against the bill that is to be passed. After all the discussions and the votes, the final assent is taken from the president, and then any bill is passed as a law. I hope all the points relating to the parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the functions of the parliament are clear with this presentation. Thank you.